In Tanzania, there is an incredible man who was born without hands. Personally, he says that he does not care about not having hands in his life because he does so much work that people with hands cannot do. This man is a farmer. He writes, washes, grazes, cooks, and feeds himself. He does all this work without any hands. This man can swim in the ocean, can drive a boat, he does fishing, plays football, makes bricks, and he does all these works without hands. Does he have superpowers? Who is this man, what is his origin, and how does he do all the hard work alone without hands? We found him in a place called Tabula, located in a certain village called Nzega. Meet Hamas Lagunda, a man who is born without hands but does all the work that needs to be done without any help. This is not our first time visiting Hamas. He has become famous on Afrimax TV because, as we speak, 12 million viewers from all around the world have already watched his previous video, and he has become an incredibly good example to many people. When we visited him at first, he was living with his mother. His wife had abandoned him because of poverty. But this time, so many things have changed. His life is different from before. Hamas has left his mother's house. He lives with his wife in his own house now, the same wife who abandoned him because of poverty. She came back because the man's life had changed. When we first met him, he had 54 kilograms, but now he has 82. Are you wondering about what made all these changes so soon? The first time we came to his village, the journey was too long because we spent 3 days on the road to reach this place and the roads were terrible. Hamas and his mother welcomed us with love, as you recall in the previous video. We were here after then, bringing his contribution from Afrimax lovers, and yet we are here again. When we visited him at first, we found him living a miserable life. Poverty was all around him, and he lived with his mother. However worse his situation was, he never thought of going to beg on the roads. Instead, he stood brave and worked hard to survive, which is what stood us up to meet an impaired man who refused to give in to his impairment and provide for his house instead of becoming a beggar. Hamas never had a chance to finish school, but his brief time at school was not in vain. He is clever, which is why he did not become helpless just because he's impaired. Normal people use their hands to hold a pen or chalk, but he uses his feet. We would like to inform you that he was born impaired. Being born in an extremely poor family prevented him from being taken to a school for the disabled. He attended a normal school, which made it so hard for him to keep going because he was so slow compared to the kids with hands, and he dropped out in 10th grade. Hamas and his mother told us about their poverty and the issues that come with it. Some of these issues include lack of livelihood. That is why we came back bringing their contributed support. The support from Afrimax included different foods and money. They were so happy for the help, and Hamas in his emotional voice said, "This is beyond my words. I have no words to express my feelings. I am grateful. Thank you for remembering me and coming back to visit me. Last time you promised to come back and I did not believe it. But I am so grateful that God brought you back to visit me. However, I apologize. Today, I do not have too much work to show you. But at least I will ride a boat and show you how I make bricks." Speaking of, you can see that I gained weight because you changed my life. After your previous visit, I started gaining weight. Now I am happy and I have hope. This man is a musician, but his neighbors know him as a comedian. In his jokes, he said, "Don't you see now that your visit made me fat?" So Hamas and his mother kept the support we brought them and thanked Afrimax lovers. He immediately started showing us around the village, took us to a football playing ground, and he played with our journalists, which was much fun for him. Hamas, who is always full of surprises, took us to the place from where he made bricks and made them. He also drove a boat. It is so amazing to watch a person who does all these things without hands. After receiving the contributed support, he said that he is going to get his mother's treatments first and take care of her. After that, he will do a project that will help them survive. In addition, he said that he's going to work hard and try chances of bringing back his wife, who abandoned him because of poverty. This man, who constantly thanks Afrimax and its lovers, said that since we visited him, people came from different sides of places with food. Others told him that his video inspired them, and others told him that he made them realize that even though they have too many problems, they can still strive and life is worth living. There is still hope. All these testimonies made Hamas happy. In his words, he told us that he never thought that his talk would be as useful to the people as it was to save the hearts of many and to make others with disabilities like him bold. Since our previous visit, Hamas called us with a jolly voice, telling us that his wife and children came back to him. He also told us that he wishes to have his own house where he can live with his wife and children in peace. Afrimax lovers contributed some money again to help him fulfill his wish. So we sent the contribution support. After some time, Hamas called us again saying that his house is almost finished, that they already moved in. Upon hearing all the good things happening to this man, Afrimax took a journey again to testify the good news. This is the newly owned house of Hamas Lagunda and his family. This is Agnes Zuberi, his wife.
Mi kwa jina naitwa Agnes Zuberi.
They have 2 children. They're now living together in a new house and they're happy. Hamas, who is actually a farmer, has bought a herd of cows, and he told us that this type of cow is very productive. Therefore, he took us down to the lake to fish some takeaway fish for us. He fished numerous fish from the lake. Then, by the time we were watching his amazing fishing skills, fearless Hamas went right into the lake and started swimming. As he was in the up and down motion in the lake, we were so scared watching him swim like that without hands. Others froze and stopped talking, but in a few seconds, Hamas was on the shore, put the fishes he fished on the shoulder, and we went back to his home. We had a conversation with his wife. She told us how they met and how people laughed at her for choosing Hamas out of all men.
Mi kwa jina naitwa Agnes Zuberi. Mzaliwa wa Nzega.
My name is Agnes Zuberi. I was born here in Nzega. Hamas is my husband and we have 2 kids. He told me that you have been visiting him, but I was not around. I was at my parents' house. The first time we met, it was like a miracle. I could not understand how I could live with an impaired man like him. Even my friends were asking me how a beautiful woman like me can live with a man like him, ignoring all the good guys out there. But love has its own ways. I found myself in love with him. Hamas does not like being in toxic groups of men. He lives in peace with all. He shares every little thing he gets with us, and that makes him a perfect man for me. When Hamas lived with his wife, he was 20 years old, and he did not court her. They just lived together, but in these days, he went back to his wife's parents and gave dowry. We asked him how he persuaded her to love him, and this is his story.
Na mke wako anaitwa nani? Anaitwa Tatu.
I gave my wife a nickname of Tatu, but her real name is Zuberi. Because I like going out, I was once out and I met her someplace called Mbeya in Singida. It was love at first sight. As a man, I approached her and asked if she was single, and she said she was single. Hearing that, my heart felt relieved and answered, although I was not sure that she was going to accept me, but I stood brave and ended up convincing her. These 2 confirmed to us that they love each other and they are happy. Hamas asked us for another moment to thank Afrimax lovers, saying that people who are watching him on Afrimax, he thanks each and everyone who helped and supported him. His family came back, and now he has his own house. Although it is missing finishing, he is incredibly grateful because if it were not for you, he would never have built it. He said that he is sincerely grateful. Thanks for watching. This is Afrimax English. Please remember to subscribe for more videos.